Hi everybody, you're behind the scenes with Evan Williams, that's me. Today I am breaking down my show, The Way Home. The Way Home is a time travel show that is heart-centered. So it's different than any show you've ever seen about time travel. It follows 3 generations of women as they attempt to solve the mystery of the traumatic experience that split the family apart, and using time travel, find each other and find themselves and unlock the mysteries, and hilarity ensues. My character is Elliot Augustine, and he is a lifelong lover. He's a hopeless romantic and someone who's been in love with his object of adoration for 20 years and didn't get the girl back then, but we'll see if he gets the girl now. He's a lifelong unrequited lover, but maybe he'll requite.
Come on, would you just kiss me already?
Elliot and Kat's relationship. You ready? We're gonna break it down. Do they frustrate you?
Yes. Just kiss the girl, man. Just kiss her. Like, come on.
Describe Elliot and Kat's first kiss.
It was in the backyard of Elliot's house when the sun was setting, and we had, behind the scenes, we had a chance for 2 takes of that before we lost the sun. Like, it was one of those sort of, like, we were not planning to shoot that where it was. We were planning to shoot that behind the house in the shadow or something, and I asked the DOP, it's like one of the few wins I have on the show. I asked the DP, like, why don't we shoot this in the meadow? And he was like, oh no, we can't, we're gonna lose the light. And I was like, okay. And then I looked over 5 minutes later and he was out there in the meadow like this. And then he looked at me and he was like, we're changing it all. And we all went to the meadow, and they were like, guys, we have 3 minutes until we lose the light. And it's one of those sort of movie magic scenes. We didn't have a chance to rehearse it or anything like that. We just sort of like went all cylinders blazing, and they had the camera just moving around us, and yeah, it turned out so beautifully. And that's what's cool about television, is like every once in a while you take a risk like that and it can fall apart, or it can make something that's going to last forever. And I think that kiss was pretty indelible. We're busy like kissing, and there's like the cameraman with the boom guy with the focus puller behind them, and they're all like a little 3-person train, like just like running around us.
That's how everyone's kissing scene should be in real life.
Basically, that's usually when I kiss in real life, that's what's happening too. It's very strange.
Does it upset Elliot that Kat is dating everyone but Elliot in every time frame?
She's what?
She's dating everyone but Elliot in every time frame.
She did what?
Do you not know that?
Kat is dating someone.
Is this the first time you're hearing of it?
You're
a very good actor, because I was like panicking. I was like, oh my God, I'm sweating.
Check this. The fact that Kat has other appetites, I think is normal. I think that similar to Elliot, Kat is trying to figure out who she is and what love means and what is right for her. And I'm not sure how much Elliot really knows about that. I mean, he has his suspicions because he knows her really well. But he says in episode 10, I want you to choose me, which means that I think that implies that he's ready to compete.
Do you think he's going to meet a new love interest?
You know, the pond takes you where you need to go. So if Elliot needs to have a new love interest, then I dare say he will.
What's it like working with Chyler?
Chyler and I have such a natural chemistry with each other that we both feel so lucky, and we have the exact same sense of humor, and there are so many times when we'll be across the room and we'll just be able to communicate with just a look in a way that makes me feel like we've been friends for 20 years.
Let's talk about the pond. Do you really have to jump in a pond? Do you guys have to get soaked for all these scenes? Break that down.
Oh yeah, the pond is a real pond. And it was a pond that we lucked out by having, because when the producers found the set for the farm, they were like, oh, it's perfect. Now all we have to do is find the pond. And the guy was like, well, I got a pond in the back. The pond looks all glassy and clean until you jump in for the first time. And then it's like a soup consistency. It's like a lentil soup. Soup. It is fun because we know that it's the narrative device of the show. So obviously we're motivated to do it, but it's always daunting when you have to actually jump in, especially when it's December and it's -6 degrees Celsius. I haven't had to do it nearly as much as the girls have. They get to be baked potatoes afterwards, and I always laugh at Sadie. Every time she goes in and out of the pond afterwards, they wrap her in this reflective blanket, and she's like a little babushka baked potato. She looks like a Russian stacking doll. You know, they have a number of different stages of wetness. It's not actually water. it's like oil or jelly or things like that, because you can't have it dry out. So it's some combination of that and water. And once you jump in, you're wet. So if the scene requires you to be dry and then jump in wet, you really only have one take at it. But what we do have is we'll have stunt people dressed up exactly like us. So when I jumped in, there was me and 2 other stunt doubles who were uncannily dressed exactly like me, but sort of just bizarro different.
The pond works in mysterious ways. It sends you when and where it wants you to go.
Elliot can finally travel. What was that reveal like, and where do you want him to go?
I was so relieved and excited when I read that Elliot was going to get to travel. I kind of was dropping hints to the writers since day 1 of season 1. I was sort of like, you know, like, it'd be really interesting to see, you know, a science-minded person travel. But I think they did it at the right time. They didn't rush it, and it was a really great reward because Elliot had a tough go of it for season 2. I mean, I like to send him to like dinosaur times. I would like to see Elliot try to like fight off a velociraptor, although actually I don't know how well that would go. I'd like to go to the future, who knows? I mean, that would be exciting just to see technologically, but I don't even know if that's possible.
You get to take one person time traveling with you. Who do you take and where do you guys go?
I think I would take Sadie. Maybe I'd take her to like 1990, 1995, and just have her experience the world before the internet, because she's so far ahead of me as a Gen Z person. She gets it so much more than I do. I would like to take her to a period of time when I get it and she doesn't get it.
So, what do you 2 have planned while you're here? You need a plan.
Can Del travel?
I don't know.
What's your theory? Evan's theory?
At the end of season 2, we learn that apparently, if somebody travels with a Landry, they can travel, and we see that with Elliot. So if Del can travel with a Landry, perhaps she could go if the pond thought it was a good idea, right? Does Del already know? Has she already had experience with it? I don't know.
I know you can't technically take items with you when you guys time travel. What 3 items would you want to bring with you if you could? And why can you travel with your clothes? Why don't they just pop out of this pond naked?
Well, I mean, there's some just logistical issues with popping out of the pond naked. We'd have to be on a different channel, and it would just change our storytelling immensely, I think. The clothes you're wearing don't necessarily change the way that you affect the past. And so that's how I would make it make sense for myself. Whereas, you know, in one of the episodes, Kat tries to take medicine back, and that would be something that was like witchcraft that didn't exist. So it makes sense that why that wouldn't be allowed. Maybe our desire to make rules about it is, maybe that's just us running ourselves in circles.
Let's say the pond has no rules.
No rules? I would take back my telephone and just blow everyone's mind. Can you imagine?
Like the old rotary phone, or like your cell phone?
I would take my cell phone. I mean, I get no internet reception, I
Yeah,
guess.
how are you gonna charge it?
That's fair. That's fair. Okay, I want to change my answer.
Okay.
Or like a solar powered device. Flashlight, witchcraft. They'd be like, it's a wizard. I can be a wizard.
I wanted to do You're a Wizard, Harry, but I won't do it.
And we're doing great. The farm's doing just great. Coffee soon. Sounds good, thank you.
Andy MacDowell, elaborate, go.
Andy MacDowell is so quintessentially herself that she's undefinable. I watched Groundhog Day for the first time on the plane a couple weeks ago. I just managed to never have seen it, and I was floored. She was so good in it, and she has not changed one bit. In between takes, she's so disarming and just easy and flowing, and she's so forthcoming with her positive reinforcement as well. Like, she really makes us feel that not only do we belong there and deserve to be there, but that we're doing a good job. And that's exciting to feel like a teammate. And if you have a teammate like Andy MacDowell, you're unstoppable.